Right guys, welcome back to another video and let's talk about some basketball. Right, so today what I wanted to do is I wanted to pick 10 random teams and basically rank them on how likely I think they are to get a championship next season. So basically the way I have done this is I've basically got the Instagram filter up, basically recorded 10 clips, which you'll see in about 2 minutes of me doing it. Hopefully it's not that boring. I do kind of talk through it a bit, and I basically write down each one I got, and then I'm going to grade them in the order starting from lowest to highest in their chance of winning a championship next season. So I'm just going to play the clip right now, showing you what teams I got. Right, let's get into the first one then. Right, so I'm just going to be going through them one at a time. We get Chicago Bulls. Right, this is number 2, so let's get into it. Also, I'm wearing the Steph Curry shirt. Lakers. Number 3, yeah, it's 2016 All-Star Game shirt. Grizzlies. Number 4, let's see what we get. Bucks, that's a good one. We just got the Memphis Grizzlies, so we're going to do another one. Let's see what the 5th one is. The Suns, that's a good one, that is. Moving on to number 6, let's see what we get. Portland. I have a feeling they're not going to be great in my rankings, I'm going to be honest. Number 7. Let's see what we get again. Nets. Number 8. We're getting near to the end now, so let's see what we get for this one. Timberwolves, that is a good one. Number 9. Let's get into it. Come on, give us a good team. Dallas. Interesting one. And the final one. Let's see who we get. Hopefully not a repeat. Right, now that you've seen the teams we've got, and we got rid of all the duplicates, which we did get, I'm going to rank them from 10th to 1st, because I just chose 10 random teams because it's a nice number. So I'm going to rank them from 10th to 1st and give my reasoning on why. So this one is a bit hard because it's the Nets at 10. Obviously you would have seen me get the Nets in that, and I just think the Nets are going to come 10th because, well, they're not 10th, but it's because they're so unpredictable. Like, we've seen Kyrie and KD, their future's uncertain, especially with KD, him putting in the trade request, and reports coming out that the Lakers are trying to do something with Kyrie. It's hard to know whether this team will compete for anything, whether they're doing a rebuild, whether they'll run it back, whether it will just be Ben Simmons and they'll try and build around it with Jaylen Brown and maybe some other players around that. We really don't know at this point. That is why they're 10th, because I can't give a definitive answer on how good the Nets will be next season, mainly because of the unsettled nature of the team, and I just think at this stage they are probably the least likely team on this list to win a championship, because I can't see them winning a championship in the state they're in right now because of the feelings and animosity and just the whole vibe. I hate using the word vibe, but of the organisation and the feeling around the players and the players' feelings for the organisation as well. Sorry, that was a bit of a drawn-out answer there, but I felt like I had to give my reasoning why a team with KD, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons on it will not make will be the worst team out of these 10 teams to, they won't likely win a championship. Let me say that. Moving on to number 9. This was quite easy as well, I'm going to be honest with you here. I put the Blazers. Just don't have the best team. I just think that Damian Lillard, he is really good, obviously, really, really good, but I just don't think the team around him is good enough, simple as that, and compared to the other teams in this list, I just don't think they're going to do well enough to put up a significant fight. They could make a play-in tournament, but out of all the teams in this list, I think that will probably be the lowest, and with the Nets' uncertainty, that is really the only reason why I've put them above the Nets in that situation. Moving on to 8th, I have put the Lakers. The Lakers are an interesting one because, again, their future's kind of up in the air. But when you have LeBron James there, it's almost, and Anthony Davis as well, you're going to be a threat. And if Russell Westbrook gets cleared off, not saying I don't rate Russ, because I really rate Russ a lot, but he just doesn't fit the Lakers. And that is just the facts of it at this point. We've seen it for a whole season and it's just not worked. So if they can get rid of him for Kyrie or something in a trade, they have a shot. And I'd probably change them on this list to probably about fourth, maybe. Fourth or third, to be honest, if they got rid of Russ and got Kyrie in, for example. If Kyrie played the games at the rate he could. Because that is dangerous at that point. But in the state they're in right now, I just don't think they have enough. I think Russ and LeBron and AD kind of get in each other's way a little bit. And Russ doesn't really want to take that role player sort of role. So I just think in this current state with the vibe around the organisation, I just don't think they're going to do very well. Now this is where it gets a lot more interesting. And this is a lot harder to call now at this point. Cavs at 7, a very young team. I love them so much. I actually just bought a Cavs t-shirt very recently, and I love the Cavs a lot. I think they're a great team, and I love what they're doing with the young players around them and stuff, and I think this team is one for the future. However, I think the chances of them winning it now are very unlikely, to be honest, and I think I actually am concerned what I've done here, but I have actually put the Cavs just below the Bulls. You'll have seen I've got the Bulls as well. This one was a kind of toss in the air. You could have gone either way, but I just think the Cavs team is too young, and they haven't got great experience, let me say that. And with the Bulls, I think that the reason why they're above the Cavs, and the reason why I think they're more likely to win it, in my opinion, is because of the maturity of the team. I think when you've got DeMar DeRozan, when you've got Zach LaVine, when you've got Vucevic, when you've got Lonzo Ball, who's a bit younger, but as long as he stays fit, he is extremely good in that Bulls team. And you also have some young players as well in the Bulls system as well, which I think could really help elevate this team. Just consistency, and don't really have a good enough center. I know I just said Vooch is good, but he's not like Rudy Gobert, for example, let me say that. But it's a great team, and I think when you've got like DeMar DeRozan, anything is possible. Like, he's a really good player, and Zach LaVine as well. When you've brought him back as well, I think anything's possible with this team, but just not as good as the team coming up next, which I've put in 5th, which is the Dallas Mavericks, which is mainly because of just Luka, to be honest. Luka's one of the best players in the whole league, and I rate him so highly, and I think that he is going to be amazing next season, and I think he's going to put a real fight up for the MVP conversation, to be honest. I don't think the Dallas Mavericks around him are very good whatsoever, and I think they are really going to struggle this season. I just don't think they are going to have enough to push as much as they did last season, because they haven't improved, and every other team pretty much in the whole West has improved more than they have. They haven't made any significant changes, and maybe they feel that they don't need to, but I just feel like the team is not good enough, especially when you're talking about like the Grizzlies, who have one of the best young cores in the whole NBA. Ja is going to have an amazing season next season, and I think he's going to be so good, and I think his level of maturity is going to improve, hopefully, where he can play. I don't know how to explain it. Obviously, I want to see that explosiveness from him, and how passionate he is about basketball and stuff, and how much he loves basketball. I love Ja so much. Honestly, I think he's one of my favourite players in the whole NBA right now. I love him and everything he does. He's so fun, and so fun to watch as well. I love watching him so much. One of the best players in the whole NBA. And with that young team around him, I think it's going to be a great season. And I just think, while Luka doesn't have the team around him, Ja kind of does. So that's why the reason why I've put the Grizzlies in 4th out of this 10. And I just think they are going to have a better chance than the Mavericks. Moving on to 3, I've put the Timberwolves. This is probably the Timberwolves' best chance in maybe their whole franchise's history, other than when they had KG. The Wolves with Gobert, Cat, and Ant. Scary team, and that's all I can really say. They're going to be a monster in the regular season. It's just that question whether they can do it in the postseason, because we haven't seen Rudy Gobert perform very well in the postseason, really, in the whole time he's really been in the NBA. He's obviously an amazing player, and Ant is going to develop into an amazing player as well. One of the best in the league, I actually think. And Cat is obviously a very good player as well. I wouldn't say he's as good as the other two, but he is a very good player. And for a big guy who can shoot a 3-ball, he's very good. So I think this team is going to be extremely hard to stop in the regular season, and playing 2 big men is an interesting strategy. I just think it's going to be really good. I'm not sure about their future, because obviously they basically sold their whole future away for Rudy. But for the now, it's going to be a very scary team. And I have actually put the Suns above them. Even though people would say that the Suns are probably going to be worse this season, I still think when you got Chris Paul, even though people say he's a bottle job, I love Chris Paul so much, and he's one of the best point guards of all time. I'm going to be honest with you there. Devin Booker should get better than he was last season. Should, that is the word there. I think Devin Booker should perform better. And their team around them is just very good, like extremely good. Obviously, when you won 60 games plus last season, I don't see how you can fall that badly. And I just think this team, while they've got all of the assets which they do have and kept them all, I just think that they are still going to be a very scary prospect in this league setting. And moving on to the Bucks, which I have put in number 1. I've put the Bucks here because they are the Bucks and they have, well, in my opinion, the best player in the whole NBA, Giannis. Scary, and the team around them, as long as they can shoot better than they did in that Boston series, this team could easily win another championship. And a lot of people are saying they can't. I think they definitely can. Giannis, scary. Drew Holiday, one of the best perimeter defenders I've ever seen. Then you've got like Chris Middleton, one of the best like just shooters, and like the way he can make like a play for himself, extremely good. Obviously, they haven't really lost anyone. It's just the issue of, is the team going to be fit enough? Because I think with Chris Middleton, they would have had a genuine shot at the title last season. So I am very impressed with them. But that is the end of the video, guys. If you would like to see me do another one of these or a similar one to these where I rank like 10 random players or something, drop a like on the video. I really would appreciate it. And if you have watched this far, I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching.